Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 17th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. We got the state of California to the right of the picture here. You can see the Hawaiian Islands, the bottom left. Pacific Ocean is here. Look at this system dropping down across Pacific Northwest. That's just going to bring us our inside slider, our cooler air mass, and some offshore winds, some lower relative humidity, some fire danger, even some higher elevation snowfall. Not a lot of it, but of course it's going to be ushering in this cooler air mass as we go through the next couple of days. And then this atmospheric river is going to be moving into the Pacific Northwest, and after that we're going to get some energy moving off the coastline here. It's likely to eject back across the west coast of North America, potentially bringing some precipitation, another frontal system, to the state of California. We'll take a look at those details here as we go through the video this morning. Now, taking a look at yesterday, if I scroll through, you can see the thunderstorm activity across some of Northern California there, just near Redding, pushed off towards the foothills, and then that lightning activity ended. You can see that frontal system continue to push off to the east. And as we go through this morning, you can see we actually have a thunderstorm here across northeast Nevada. That's the beginning stages of this frontal system dropping down. That's going to start to usher in the stronger northerly winds and eventually turn offshore all the way down across Southern California. Low relative humidities, cooler air mass, and some mountain snows are possible with that. And again, not a lot of it, maybe an inch or two for areas, up over 8, 9, even 10,000 feet. Now, if we take a look at what's going on right now, we do have the red flag warnings for a lot of the valley areas out towards the Bay Area. We've got frost advisories, freeze watches, freeze warnings out there. There's even some dense fog advisories here out towards Lake Tahoe as well. And these north winds are going to start kicking on today, and then some northeast winds as we go on into not the extended, but the next couple of days as well. And that's going to go all the way down through Southern California. I'll show you that more here in a moment. But if we look at the red flag warnings, it starts tonight, again through Saturday p.m. Look at some of these isolated gusts, the 65 miles per hour, daytime relative humidity as low as 10%. Even some areas can be a bit lower than that. So there is going to be some fire danger. Now, frost and sub-freezing temperatures, I mentioned this in a couple slides ago, and you can see these temperatures getting pretty darn right chilly here. So watch out for your sensitive plants. Watch out for any pets that are left outdoors. This was issued, just updated here by Eureka National Weather Service California at 6:38 a.m. Taking a look at the wind advisory. Check it out. This goes all the way in through Friday night. North Bay ends 8 a.m. Saturday here. So we got some gusty winds going to be arriving. This is going to be the case for much of the state. I'll show you those maps here in a moment. And if we look across the Los Angeles National Weather Service area, we've got some fire weather watches. We've got beach hazard statements, wind advisories, some high wind warnings out there. The red flag warning you can see across some of the central coastal areas here as we get these high winds kicking down, these stronger winds kicking down across the region. Now, I did want to mention this as well. I've been showing this the last few days. They have lowered the chances a little bit here, but we could ring a few showers out as we go through tonight. This is San Diego National Weather Service. Remember yesterday it was more of a 50-50. Now it's more of a 1 in 3 chance here. System trending a little bit drier here, but we could bring some precipitation across Southern California. And I did want to mention this. You can see the grapevine is right here. But when you get a little bit further south, Gorman on I-5, you can see some gusty winds there. Mojave, Jawbone out there, Ridgecrest, Walker Pass, 45 miles per hour. And this goes on in through Friday. Now, this is Las Vegas National Weather Service. Just a heads up, the low temperatures, the cooler air mass coming down across the region. Just wanted to point this out since they went through the effort of making a nice graphic. Taking a look at rain chances Friday, you can see it does clip southeast California here, but the lion's share of that is going to go off into Arizona. You can see Phoenix actually getting some precipitation chances out of this as well. The timing is Friday morning through Friday afternoon, and I had to point this out with the extreme heat that Phoenix has been going through. This is just going to be an absolute shock to the system. Much more comfortable temperatures here. It's going to be like living in an air-conditioned state at least for a time before you start to warm back up here as you go through the early portion of next week. Now, let me back this up. This is what the Doppler radar may look like for the next 60 hours. Put this into motion. You can see that frontal system I talked about here on the visible satellite where you can see the thunderstorm activity across northeast Nevada. Some of these showers ringing out across the Sierra Nevada. And then you can see as we go through later this evening and tonight, we start to ring out a little bit of the shower activity across Southern California. It's not going to amount to much, but of course there's going to be clouds associated here, and it'll be a nice little change of pace here for Southern California. Then you can see the low spinning across Arizona as we go on in through Saturday morning. Some thunderstorms off to the east of that. Now, Taking a look at what is to come here as far as winds are concerned, we got the North American model, high resolution, 3 kilometer. If I put this into motion, you see the winds here on the right. You see the winds start to come down out of the north here as we go through this afternoon, as the high pressure building in here across Oregon. You see those that high pressure moving in here. The pressure gradient increases here, and you can see these strong northerly winds driving across the valley areas. It turns northeast across some of the Sierra Nevada, northerly winds here across portions of southern Nevada, the desert to California, and then you can see these turn offshore out of the northeast here, typical Santa Ana wind locations across southern California. I'll show you the wind speeds on that here in a moment, but you can see how that correlates with that high pressure building across southern Oregon and portions of Nevada, driving these offshore winds, very low relative humidities, and all it takes is a spark. These fires could spread rapidly once they get going, and then we scroll on in through Friday night into Saturday. You can see that high pressure just kind of centered right over Nevada as we go on in through very early Saturday morning here was what I'm showing you right now, and these winds continue on in through the day Saturday. So I'm highlighted here on Southern California. This is accumulated 10-meter wind gust. So as we scroll on in through today, you see the winds start to kick up as we go through tonight as these turn northerly here across the desert areas, and then the northeast winds. Check out some of these gusts over 50 miles per hour for some isolated locations, perhaps in excess of 55 towards 60 miles per hour. Transverse range, peninsular ranges here as we go on into the day Friday, and you see those winds continue off into very early Saturday morning here as well, continuing that offshore flow. Looking at central and northern California here as well, I just want to play through this and kind of show you these stronger gusts. The north wind, you see it start to come through here as we go through this evening across the Sacramento Valley, down through the San Joaquin Valley here as well. And you see the strong winds just off the coastline, and that'll be affecting some of the headlands, especially across the central coast and up towards northern California as well. Now, the relative humidity. So watch this change. Here we go through Thursday morning where we are now. Dries out a little bit today, but you see the humidities bounce back as we go through the overnight hours. But then look as we go through the day Friday. Look at this very dry air mass, very characteristic of these offshore winds. And look at some of these relative humidity values drop down into the single digits for some locations. Look at the entire state of California. Much drier by the time we get on towards the day Saturday. So watch out. Keep your wits about you. Fire season is definitely not over during the month of October here for California and much of the Southwest. Now, looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere, I want to show you this here. This is the system swinging down across Pacific Northwest. This is what we call the inside slider. You know, they're usually moisture starved. They might ring out a few showers and whatnot, but they do usher in these cooler air masses, and they can bring these offshore winds like what we're talking about. You can kind of see this one doing the funky chicken right on top of Arizona here as we go on in through Friday night and on into Saturday morning. That's what's bringing that cool down. And then the model's been showing this area here, this upper level low, kind of getting cut off for a bit as we go through next week, but then it quickly starts to eject back towards the west coast. This could bring another frontal system for portions of California. So that's the one we're watching through the extended forecast here. The European and the GFS have been picking up on that. The timing has been changing a little bit here, but it does look like it's going to bring another frontal system into California as we go through next week. And I can kind of show you the same thing here, but this is at the surface. We're looking at 6-hour precipitation. Let me back that up a little bit here. You can kind of see the frontal system draping down across Nevada, trying to wring out some snow for the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada. We scroll on in towards this weekend. This is when we're going to get the offshore flow, the dry air here at the surface, much of the state, and the atmospheric river impacting the Pacific Northwest. Some of the energy drops down off the coastline here, and then you can see this storm organize out over the Pacific Ocean. Fairly robust storm here. It's going to lose some of its punch as it moves towards the coastline, but it could bring that frontal system and some additional precipitation chances as we go on in towards the end of next week and next weekend. Now, total snow in inches, I did want to run this by you guys here. You can kind of see the little bit of snow here for the higher terrain, but of course the big story is going to be the cooler air mass and the stronger winds. But I did want to point that out for anybody out there in the backcountry as we go through this evening and through tonight. And then if we scroll far enough out, you can see that next system move through here, and it just casts a little bit of precipitation in the form of snow across some of the higher terrain, and better chances for rainfall at the lower elevations, of course. And we looked at that already, 10-meter max wind gusts, and this is the daily 2-meter minimum temperatures. This is Friday, tomorrow, October 18th. This is probably going to be the coolest morning upcoming here, and you can see some of these way down in towards the teens. These are actual temperatures. This is not just wind chill here. So the Sierra Nevada going to get pretty chilly, but then we do moderate a little bit. Still pretty chilly here Saturday morning, Sunday, Monday. You can see how we moderate as we go through the upcoming week there. But still, you know, we're getting into the fall season. It can be chilly off in the upper levels of the terrain there. 6 to 10 day, here we go, below normal across some portions of Northern California as we go through October 26th. There's the above normal here, and that is no doubt because that system that's going to eject back across the west coast of North America, 8 to 14 day, kind of Pacific Northwest centered below normal there. And we got above normal there on the 8 to 14 day here, maybe that system, in that time range. I actually wanted to take a look at that one more time. Let's look at that. Yeah, you see that little near, below normal, just kind of skirt in Southern California, who knows about that? Just kind of interesting. I thought I saw that, but wasn't sure. And we've got some new outlook updates coming up here. I'm going to do another La Nina / El Nino or ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation update will be coming out today. We've got some extended forecasts. You can see this is for November 2024 and kind of that above average signal here across a lot of California. We'll see how that goes. And there's the precipitation, kind of equal chances below normal. Kind of stark looking thing there hanging out across Arizona and New Mexico as we go through the month of November. So anyway, hope you guys are liking the videos. Click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow. We will break down the outlook of that system and whatnot and see what kind of model agreement we can have on our next potential weather maker off in through next week. But otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.